Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here to bring you a wig review in partnership with name brand wigs. This is Raquel Welch It Curl in the color Ginger Brown, which is RL5/27. Let's see if I can get this to focus. It Curl Ginger Brown. It has been a little bit since I've had a chance to review a curly style like this. It is so cute and I can't wait to tell you all about it. So if you want to know more about this style or this color, then stick around because I will cover it for you. I absolutely love curly wigs. They are just my favorite because I could never have curly hair ever in my whole life, and so the opportunity to have curly hair now is amazing and I love it. I am really grateful to Name Brand Wigs for providing me with the opportunity to review this piece. They did send it to me so that I could share it with all of you. If you want to know more about Name Brand Wigs, please go check them out, www.namebrandwigs.com. They are an online retailer. They have a blog. They have great customer service. As a matter of fact, I had an opportunity to have a phone call with them to learn a little bit more about their customer service so that I could feel confident in referring people to them. And I'm very impressed with their training program and just all the things that they do for their employees. So please check them out if you are looking for a trustworthy online retailer. All right, let's take a look at this one from all sides. She's not perfect, and I'll tell you the things that I'm struggling with, but she is cute. So cute. I'll just tell you right off the bat though, what I'm struggling with is how flat this one is on the top. The curls start about, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches down from the top, maybe 4 inches down from the top. And they're beautiful and they're voluminous and they're just perfect, but it's super straight on the top. So I had to spend quite a bit of time trying to figure out how to best wear this one. I have not done anything to it but comb it out, shake it out, and finger style it and play with it and, you know, try to arrange the front. And I tested out a few styles with it, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So that is all I've done to this one. I do have an out of the box, which I did for Instagram, and I will tack that onto the end of this video so you could see what she looked like out of the box. The curls were much more defined out of the box. I did take a wide tooth comb and combed through them. Now that it's hard to give you guys advice on whether or not you should comb out your curly wigs. Some wigs look better if you relax those curls and comb them out and form them. And other wigs, like Girl Mono by Ellen Villa, really doesn't do well with being combed out. It really relaxes that curl pattern and it doesn't look really the same. So it is going to be a little bit of trial and error, and that's my opinion, of course. It's going to be a little bit of trial and error. So if you would like to wear curly wigs, or maybe you do and you're just not sure how to care for them, I do have a video where I show how I care for mine, but it will depend on the actual curl pattern and the wig whether or not I would use a comb on it or just finger style. I think this one, after playing with it and wearing it, I thought this one would do much better with a little bit of a comb out, and so that's what I did with this one. So that's in a nutshell, that's the one thing I'm struggling with on this. Well, maybe two, but it's just super flat on top. So working with it, and that's my opinion. You may love that, and that may be exactly what you're looking for. So please don't take me to say that that is ugly or anything negative. We all have such different preferences when it comes to wigs, which is why I try to be very careful when I share my opinion, that I'm making it very clear that things are my opinion and not fact, because again, we're all so different, and that's what the beauty of wigs is. There's so many choices. So I'll talk a little bit more about styling a little bit later in this video, where I will kind of what I would do with this one to deal with that. I will talk about that with you. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about this wig. So it comes with a smallish lace front, and that's it for cap features. I am so pleased that the wig manufacturers are coming out with some options that lower the price point. I know that we all would love to have a monofilament, a lace front. Well, not all of us. Some people don't like the mono features, but a lot of us would like to have all those cap features and not have to break the bank. But the reality is, the more hand-tied features a wig has, the more expensive it is. And a lace front is hand-tied. A mono part or a mono top is hand-tied, and so that does increase the price. This wig you can get for under $200 if you find a sale. I think right now it's retailing for somewhere around $225, but I mean, there's really no reason why you should ever have to buy a Raquel Welch wig full price. The websites have sales all the time, so I would just watch for one and you would be able to get this one for under $200. Let's take a look at that cap so you can see what I mean. So this is the lace front. It's small. When I say it's a small one, it's just because it's just like this. It actually goes quite far to the sides, all the way over to the ear tabs. Tons of styling opportunity when you have a lace front like that. And you see all these kind of checker mark color pattern variations. That's just the highlighting, the way that they sewed the highlighted pieces in with the darker pieces. It really doesn't impact how it looks. Now, a lot of wigs will have a monofilament right here, a part or a full mono. This one doesn't have that, which means you can actually part it anywhere you want to, but the parting space isn't going to look quite as realistic as it would if there was monofilament there. I think they did a really good job of sewing the fibers into the cap though, so you really don't see permatease, and I'll show that to you in a second, but that's what keeps the price down. Soft ear tabs with bendable stays, extended nape, Velcro adjusters. This is the Raquel Welch memory cap that has a little bit of silicone on the bands here. That actually makes it very secure if you don't have any hair. So if you've lost all of your hair and you have or you shave your head down to skin, this is actually going to make it so that it grips a little bit to your scalp, and you may be able to wear one of these types of wigs without anything underneath it, a wig grip or anything. That's the purpose of this. If you have hair though, it really doesn't impact you at all. It doesn't pull on your hair or anything like that. It's kind of a non-issue for people with hair like I have too much hair for that to really impact. And then look at these gorgeous colors or curls. We'll talk about the color in a moment. I do timestamp everything in the description, so if you're here for something specific, look at the timestamps and you might be able to skip around to only the parts that you care about. All right, so let me put her back on for you guys, and you'll see that when I put her on, there's just a little bit, I have a mirror over here, there's just a little bit of a challenge. I didn't adjust my mirror very well so that I could stay in the camera frame. Oh well, I'll do this in my camera and we'll just work with it. Because of the fullness, and then I've got a few pieces that just don't know what they want to do. I honestly think that's not a big deal because these are heat-friendly fibers. They're very malleable. Heat-friendly fibers are sort of the type of fiber that some people love, some people hate, and then you do have some people in the middle who aren't really sure what they feel about it. My opinion about heat-friendly fibers, and I do have a video showing you how to care for straight heat-friendly wigs, is that they're so realistic feeling. They feel much more realistic in my opinion than regular synthetic fibers. They're so soft and so silky. They don't have the same potential for shine that a regular synthetic wig has. Sometimes people will complain about shine on synthetic wigs. I'm not terribly sensitive to that, so I don't see it a lot, but some people are very sensitive to that. Heat-friendly fibers are made in a way that they really don't project that kind of shine, so they're very realistic. But the challenge with heat-friendly is that they do respond to wear and tear more significantly than regular synthetic. If it rubs on your clothing, that creates friction and it can be really hard on those heat-friendly fibers. Straight heat-friendly fibers, in my opinion, are super easy to care for because you just take heat to it periodically and it keeps them feeling nice. The problem with taking heat to a wig is it does alter the style. And so in a wig like this with this curl pattern, if I took heat to it, depending on how I did that, I could relax the curl or even straighten it, which could be a good thing if that's what you're looking to do. But if you want to maintain this curl pattern, that's going to be a little trickier to care for. And if I were you, before purchasing a wig like this, I would do some more research on heat-friendly fibers. and watch some videos. I don't have any showing how to care for curly wigs at this time that are heat friendly. I just don't have that experience. But as far as realism, this thing feels so realistic. Let's talk about that lace front and that parting space. So there's that lace front. Raquel Welch is just best in class when it comes to these lace fronts. They do such a good job. They take whatever the lighter color is in the wig that you've got. If it's got any type of a highlight, they do bring that to the front because that will minimize any knotting that you see. The flip side of that is it can sometimes look a little odd because you've got all of this highlight right at the front. It really can change the appearance of a color. But for the most part, I think it works really well. So here's the top, and this is what I mean. You can't really see any visible, maybe the tiniest amount of visible permatease. Nothing really obvious that I think anybody would really notice but you potentially. But what that means is if you want to part it and you want to be able to see scalp, you can't do that with this one. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I honestly think there's tons of styles that you could do with this one to minimize that if you're concerned about it. All right. Fit. This fits me just like any other Raquel Welch. I believe Raquel Welch runs very true to average. Sometimes they fit me big. I have a 22-inch circumference and I'm very petite over the top of my head. All of my head measurements are in the description below. And I always say that they run average, maybe slightly bigger than average. Depends on the wig. This one I feel is running a little bit slightly bigger than average. It's average, maybe ever so slightly bigger than average. What that means is I have a lot of room. I can cinch this one in, and I have a 22-inch circumference. So if you're bigger than that, I think you could go quite a bit bigger and still fit this. It has a lot of stretch, so much stretch. It is incredibly comfortable. If you are average petite though, you might find this to be a little bit too big for you. And if you struggle with that a lot, I really encourage you to look up some videos showing you how to alter a wig cap to be smaller. It's really not that difficult, and it would really open up a lot of styles to you on your journey. This wig, the one thing, even though I think overall it's feeling a little bit big, the ear tabs are falling a little high on me. And that means you can see a lot of my bio hair. And I'm growing it out right now, so it's really sticking out. And so that's kind of the one thing to be cautious about depending on how wigs fit you. Just because it fits me a certain way doesn't mean it's going to fit you the same way. It definitely has plenty of clearance for tucking, for glasses, and things like that. So at least on me, I think it would be great for that kind of thing. All right, let's talk about color. Color is such a hard thing, and when you're talking about a heavily highlighted piece like this, it can be even harder. So this is called ginger brown, and the color code is RL5/ I dropped the card on the floor. Hold on. 5/27. A 27 is actually a really vibrant coppery red. And a 5 is actually a blend of your kind of medium dark browns. So you have this very vibrant auburn with some medium dark brown, and it's very dynamic. Now, this is not one of their shadow shades colors, so you don't have a root. It is consistently highlighted all throughout the wig. And you can see it's just got this beautiful, very vibrant coppery auburn and your medium dark brown running throughout. It's beautiful, and because of the way they do the highlights in the front, it actually appears very light around the face, which can be very flattering. But this one is definitely a ginger. Ginger brown is the name, and it's for sure a ginger. So if you like your auburns, but you want it to be more brunette than auburn, this one isn't going to be for you. This one is very auburn, very coppery, with some brunette mixed in. It's almost like, do you want any brunette with that auburn? Because it just doesn't have a lot of the brown, a lot of that red. So pretty though. I just love, love, love colors like this. I will get outside so that you can see this color outside, and then I will put a styling segment on as well, something really brief, just so that you can see some ideas and how I would deal with the flatness on the top. Let's get outside, But before we do that, I just want to thank Name Brand Wigs again for sending me this piece. And I hope that you will check them out and show them some love, because it's expensive for them to work with us reviewers and constantly sending out wigs, but it helps the community so much, and I'm very appreciative of it. All right, guys, let's get outside. All right, here we are outside with Ginger Brown. I'll get out in the sun for you in a second. I just want to be able to look into the lens for a moment. Out here, I can't really do that. All right, here you go. Now you can really see out here what I mean. It's truly a ginger. Lots and lots of that red and auburn. And like I said, no rooting. It's so gorgeous. I'm such a fan of colors like this because it's so hard to achieve on human hair and so expensive. It just makes it fun. All right, guys, I hope that helped you. Thanks for watching. Okay, quick styling segment. So I mentioned in the body of the review that I was struggling a little bit with the top of this and how flat it is on top. So I just want to talk a little bit about what I do when that happens. This isn't the first wig that's happened to me with a curly wig, and so sometimes we have to learn workarounds, and otherwise we'd be sending all kinds of wigs back and missing out on really cute styles. So one of my favorite workarounds is just to take the front of the wig and clip it up. I love to do like little easy twists. I always call them simple little twists. And then you just take a claw clip, whatever size you want. I'm using a bit of a bigger one so that you can see it, but I may opt to use a really tiny one like this, super small, and do a bunch of little twists, and that can really change up the look. And so I highly recommend that you invest in some claw clips to give you some styling flexibility with your wigs. I will put a link to my Amazon storefront in the description. I have a whole, look at how cute that is, you guys. And then suddenly you've got more volume in the front, and the curls go up a little bit higher instead of starting lower because you just brought them up. And that to me is one of the, and now I might, where it looks a little weird, it's got some pieces sticking out, but I'm just giving you an example. I would keep playing with it until it looks exactly like I want it. It may take one twist, may take 4 twists. It really just depends. I was saying I will link my Amazon storefront. I have a whole styling page where I have basically linked all the products that I love to use with my wigs. Styling products, accessories, headbands. You can just go there and browse around. I would only share something that I love and that I use, but it's the easiest way for me to show you guys the things that I absolutely love. So right there, how cute is that? And what a perfect style for some fancy occasion, a wedding or something that you have to dress up. Now, like I said, you could do a bunch of little ones as well. So maybe I just take, and again, these simple twists, so simple. You don't need to have styling experience. The hardest thing about these is they're so tiny, and if you have finger problems, it's kind of a challenge, but so then you just do more than one little twist. Instead of a big, thick chunk, you could just do a bunch of little ones. And one of the things I absolutely love about Raquel Welch is the way that they do their very dynamic highlighting. It works perfectly when you do twist styles like this because it really plays up on that highlighting. There, look at that. Now I didn't do it on this side. I just did it sort of in the middle. Again, how adorable is this wig? Next would be just taking a headband. So let's just say you have arthritis and you really can't, or you don't want to use a clip. You can just use a headband and you can just play with the hair until you have it the way you want it. Now, you could keep the front down, but because you've got this beautiful lace front, you could pull some of it up, and then you could play with those curls up there to give it a little more volume on the top if that's what you're looking for. Obviously, if that's not what you're looking for, you don't do that. And then you just keep playing with it until it looks the way that you want it. So easy, so simple. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is updos with this one. Even though it's not super long, I do think you can do some updo styles with it. Now, I think if you just gather some, because of the curls, updos can be so fun with curly wigs because you can just take some of the curls and leave them down, and let them kind of spill down all over the place. I can't see at all what I'm doing in the back, but just to give you an idea. And then you could just take any kind of a clip. I like clips because I think they're easier on the fibers. You certainly could use a ponytail holder and put this in like a small little low pony, but you're going to put a lot of friction and pressure on the wig by doing that. And so I want you to be careful, especially with these heat-friendly wigs. Now, I have no idea how that looks. Gosh, not too bad actually for not being able to see what I'm doing. And then you've got a cool style. It's up. You've got the bulk of the hair up off of your neck, up off of the kind of the lower part of your head. So if it's a really hot day, you could do something like this and it's a lot cooler. It's amazing how much cooler a wig is when you just put it up a little bit. So that's it, you guys. Again, any kind of a claw clip, you can use these big ones. I really like this one for some styles. It's so cute. I have all of this in the Amazon store I was telling you about. But how easy. Now, one last thing. A bonus for those of you who stuck around till the end. If you style your wig, or you've worn it a few times, and it's starting to look a little kind of raggy and messy, one of the best things you can do for a curly wig is spray water on it. So let's say you styled it, and now you're going to wear it another day, and you don't want to style it. So once you take the style down, don't ever leave your wigs in those updos unless you're never going to wear it any other way, because you could get cold setting and alter that curl pattern. So just make sure you take it out at the end of the day. You can shake it out, kind of fluff those fibers back up. Look at what happens when you shake it out. That's okay. It's going to come back. Just start working with it. Finger comb. You could take a comb and then just a little bit of water. Spray some water on it, kind of finger style the water into the fibers, and then just do some of this scrunching, and you can get those curls back without having to wash it. And that can actually prolong how long you go between washes. How fun and how easy. Now, everything you do to a wig puts friction on it. Every time I finger style it, every time I scrunch it, every time I run a comb through it, every time I do anything to it, it's putting friction on it. So you want to be, careful, and just know the more you play with it, you're shortening its life. And then with heat-friendly fibers, eventually they're going to start to get a little frizzy and you're going to have to take heat to them. I think I might need to keep this one so I can practice my skills putting heat on a curly wig, because I just haven't done much of that. And I know it's tough. It's tough. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys. I hope that helped. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting me by liking, maybe, commenting, subscribing, all of those things. I will talk to you guys soon. Hey everyone, here's the out of the box that I did for Instagram. I couldn't get the voiceover that I recorded on Instagram to come out, so I'm just recording it here. So basically, you can see this beautiful style out of the box. Mainly what I want you to see here is the curl pattern before I comb it and how it looks on my head. I've shared with you all of this detail, so you know all this, you know what the cap construction is, but mainly what you're here to see is how it looked out of the box. And that's so important because it's hard to determine if you're going to keep a wig or not when you can't really mess with it too much. But you can see the curls were a lot more formed, and they're still cute, but I thought it would look a lot cuter combed out a little bit and just a little bit more put together. And so that's what I did, but that's all I did. Such a cute style. Thanks for watching.